All right. Priscilla's here. She showed up for work. She's running around here like a crazy cat. I can grab her. Yeah, this is the best I can do. She's erratic. See if I can get any far with her with this. No. Yeah. Just ready to run. Yeah, she is. All right. So yeah, I posted, which I never do. Posted a prediction or just energy read on YouTube, on social media, which I never do any of that. So I've had things happen too, especially like when the economy is kind of sliding a little bit. I felt that come in, and sure enough, it happened. And then, and this one's a little bit different. It's not clear. The timeline of it's not clear because we have like a 3-day weekend. Something can happen with that with the U.S. Doesn't mean it will, but it could. But it's definitely like because it came through like I don't know, like 7:00 in the morning, something like that. It was daylight, and I was around 8:00, something around that. I can't remember the timing of it. I messaged my friend about it. And just after I got the read, and he just got back to me like instantly. It was feeling to, we felt the same thing, and kind of like at the same time. So it was weird vibes going on. Yeah, just some kind of, not to have panic, but there might be panic. And it's hard to predict what it is, I mean, it's something like, not to say this will happen. It's something like if like Trump is now removed from the race. Let's put it that way, or something happens or whatever. It's kind of that kind of impact, but of course that's just for the U.S. But it would be more global. So it's not that. I mean, it could be, but that's more predicted. It's like I can't predict what it is. I don't know what it's not clear. Whatever it is, it might get went into effect, but I don't know what it is. Now it's been raining here like crazy. It didn't rain today, but it's going to rain all week this week. Like not just rain, but just like floods. It's like, geez, like a monsoon week. Geez. And we don't have hurricanes coming through yet. I think it rained more than a hurricane, but yeah, it's definitely a clearing that's going on. And we haven't, it's right before September, like now September. So something's in the maybe October. I'm not getting a time frame at all. So whatever it is, it's been seeded. That's all I know. I don't think it's Israel. Like 2020, we couldn't really see that coming. Of course, obviously, somebody's out there's always tooting the horn about it. Whatever. But there is obviously society hides behind a veil. Hides behind happiness when it's actually not so happy. Puts on it's like, oh, I want to be happy all the time, yada yada yada, and it's kind of it's running away from itself basically. It's hiding. Not everybody, but a lot of them are just want to be entertained, and something about that, at least is going to get kind of like a kind of like a screwdriver coming to that. It's like you gotta. It's like an internal thing. It's like you gotta stop running away from yourself. I don't know what the hell. I mean, 2020 was a lot of people went nuts, sitting at home all day, watching themselves go insane. So, like I said, it's hard to say what it is. So, maybe it's like a September surprise energy, possibly. And as for what it is, it's still, grab at straws. Who knows? But yeah, it was like, I sent out the energy read through text, which I never do. It's for all the social medias. I just feel like I better do it. Just felt like doing it. And what will happen? Maybe nothing will happen. I imagine something will happen, but I'm not really sure what. So, yeah. But it was like around, I guess it was around 8:00, something like that this morning. It just felt just some kind of change coming into the timeline worldwide. It's going to affect many, and just like I say, society's there probably will be a panic of some kind, as I'm gathering. I'm not trying to put panic out there, but some kind of panic somewhere. So I don't know. It's not a solar flare, but it's not a solar flare, but it could be impactful, like something similar. I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's not clear. So anyway. All right. I also felt that, Andromedans, I never tap into their frequency like ever. So, kind of just like an energy read or some kind of is there a diagnosis of our planet that runs away from itself, or society that runs from itself? It's, like I say, wants to be entertained. It has a short attention span, which is nothing to be proud of. That's not good. Yes, I mean, the U.S. is obviously in decline because it's spoiled and it's got nowhere to go but down at this point. So, and it doesn't really matter who's president. Not that it ever did, but it does feel like, if one candidate got in, the timeline would go one way, another candidate go another, and then, that's why they're so big on the whole Biden thing. What's happening now? It feels like it doesn't matter who's in there at this point, because it's going to, it really doesn't matter. It's like it's an election, but there's like nothing there. It's like there's an election going on, but I feel nothing from it. It feels just hollowed out nothingness. I was also feeling, society, not everybody, but a good portion of the society, maybe from the astral point of view, of just like society was ghostly, like it wasn't really going anywhere. Obviously, those that need to just concentrate on job and just third dimensional stuff, that's one thing. That's where they're at. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just those that are here to grow but stop. There's a lot of that. And so we're kind of going through a split, is what I'm getting at. It's like a split of just, and I felt this throughout the year. I haven't felt it throughout the year before like this. Like you're either here to evolve or not. And those that aren't, doesn't mean they're going to be doomed to damnation or anything like that. But those that could evolve and fight it, I don't know, man. That's a weird one. They actually literally fight it. But those that are here to keep moving forward, you'll definitely see it. You'll see yourself activate more. And you'll also realize why your timeline occurred, why it did, or why it's transpiring the way it is for whatever reason. It has its purpose. So it might not make sense now, but but there is kind of like, it's kind of like a split. This is probably the first year I ever felt that. Even beginning of this year, I'm definitely feeling it now. But the ones that that won't go crazy, as other people go crazy. I just feel like it's like there's a possibility society will just lose it, and there's not much you can do about it. Just watch. So I don't know what I just have no idea. I have no clue of what's coming. If anything, like I said, definitely something's on the way. Maybe that's why I feel like it might be this 3-day weekend, because weird stuff happens on, maybe on Monday or something. Who knows? But who knows? It's not clear. Yeah, it's weird. The other thing was, so for like alien contact, for example, could happen, but disclosure, aliens show up here. But if that happens, the world has to be a different place. It cannot be the way it is right now. So not to say, the polar ice caps are going to melt or whatever, but not to say this is going to happen. But the end, like at 2020, nobody saw that coming, and sure enough, you get obviously 9/11 situation, and there's even like with the tech, the iPhone, when that came out, now society looks down at the phone up, but then again, it's a tool, but there's a lot of that AI stuff going on. So that was a big change, definitely. For alien disclosure to occur, the world has to really just drastically just start transforming. Like society, not all society has to be big on the whole disclosure thing, but the world has to be a different place for it to happen. And more interactions will happen somehow, but the world as we know it has to be kind of split, has to break down, has to become something else. Doesn't mean it has to be a catastrophe or whatever, but just we can't live society. We can't live in what the world that we're living in now. So that's why we're here for. I don't know. I mean, I can see that happening, even if just a major shift, and we just keep our sanity as everyone else loses their mind. I don't know. So anything can go. Yeah, it is kind of odd to get this feeling, but they're not really sure what it is. Of course, it's the same with anything. Now, during 2020, I had nothing but distractions before 2020 occurred, and then that's how it ever built. And yeah, I think it's why I was like deliberately, interfered with during that. Not to say I would have ever saw it coming. Who knows? Who knows? But I would say like an energy attack before all that occurred, and then give this some Yeah, it's kind of like when I got sick last. I remember getting sick for like 6 months. This was like back in 2017. It's kind of similar to what I went through recently. But I cleared that up pretty fast this time. So anyway, all right. Yeah, it's weird. So who knows? Everything's kind of quiet for now. It does feel like the vibe I get, at least right now, is September. When, what? Don't know. Just September vibe. Yeah, I didn't have like an Archangel Michael or anybody or Alien X or whatever. Just none of that. All this has been an intuitive connection. I've been right for with the economic stuff recently, and that was like one of the bigger ones because they're kind of in a weird state right now. But it's not. This is now what's going to happen. I don't feel like it is financial. It doesn't feel that way. It's some. Could be the Easter Bunny showing. I don't freaking know. Could be Santa Claus. I don't know. Easter Bunny shows up and just says, Easter is now every day. I don't know. Anyway, just Avatar.com. For private sessions, maybe. Shop here, maybe if it works. So, okay. So anyway, all right. So we just have to see how this transpires. It feels like it's on. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe get dreams, something. I don't know. Just what is? Yeah, this is a tough one. But it's not like I don't put out texts or anything like that. I don't do anything like that. Usually do a video of a pickup up on anything, but this is different. So kind of have like a record of it, text wise. So yeah. So all right. So all right, going to Andromedan energies, and we can connect to the world. Well, we can connect to the main timeline. Sure, for a little bit. That's about it. I probably won't say anything, but who knows? I might give you some context or something like that. All right, so then I'm going to Andromedans. All right, so what's this? Greece, energies from the main timeline. Of course, we cannot go into details of our what's part of your. It's like a pop quiz. You just can't go into. Of course, you have rumors of it. Well, you have to be somewhat prepared, at least psychologically prepared. For those of you that need to know, so that's all. Just eyes, heads up, eyes open, something around, just some kind of awareness that there is a timeline coming to shake up reality to some level, without going into all the details of it. And some of you might do energy healing and just on yourself, society, and feel like the weather patterns are saying a lot. Society there's a clearing going on. Basically, many of you are assisting society doing a clearing, figuring itself out, even if it hasn't quite realized itself. It's not intended for that, but on an astral level, we are assisting, you say, the world. Those of you that are, more awakened to your higher dimensional selves, you are, anchoring in, kind of like driving in this new reality, like it or not. Of course, some might be pushing back on it, but you're not going to get anywhere with that. Of course, society just pushed back a lot because it doesn't want to change, doesn't want anything. It wants us to stay the same and just win the lottery. And then it's won the lottery before. It's called Atlantean times, and it threw all that away. And yes, a lot of Atlanteans, when they lost themselves through manipulations, is a long story with that. But they started manipulating society, which went into what you are living now. So your controllers is Orion energies, Atlantean energies, not just Orion's, Atlantean frequencies also. Doesn't mean they know what they're doing. It's just that they have a little bit upper hand of how the world is. Doesn't mean that a lot of them are, like losing their minds, but they just still have the energy advantage because they teach their families how to keep their frequency to a certain level, even if it's not exactly the best intentions. Basically, they teach their family lines, their bloodlines, to not be like everybody else. They help them financially and so on, but also they want to grow their families, just in case they have a bad apple, they can throw that one out. And they do a lot of psychological warfare on their own family lines to continue what's happening here. Doesn't mean they have full control over reality, far from it. They can just do mind control, that's it. They can't control space. They can't control the universe. It's just they can mess with society because society obviously is, needs these lessons because they're agreeing to it. Not everybody, but you're agreeing to. It's like they're playing a record and society is dancing to it, but not everybody. But you kind of have to play it out basically. And just a lot of society obviously has no self-love for itself. They don't even know what it means. They don't even know, just survival. As you know, you get up, you go to your work, you go to school. Yeah, it's kind of like a robotic society, but it's also like, because humanity lost its privileges, its power, at a higher frequency because it was, abusing it. So it's kind of like society is kind of like in timeout. You have to go clean the deck until you get your act together. So we can see that you might be able to handle what you're capable of. So, and there's a lot that's to this. It's not just a punish. It's a lot of it's. I mean, obviously, men would disagree, but to teach you to come back into your power, it's easier said than done. They're actually going to give you your ability. It doesn't work that way. They've done that. It doesn't work. You just don't know how. You don't know what the hell you're doing. So you just have to kind of gradually show that you're mature enough to handle what your abilities, your power, so you can use them. I mean, obviously, those that do move up in the higher frequency, sometimes they use a darker frequency, but it's still, because it comes right back to them. It's like you might send lightning to a person, but it zaps you right back. So there's that. And the power elite here, it's a little bit of a strange one, isn't it? It's like, why are they in charge? Well, because society needs that. Not everybody, but you get something out of it. They're like putting their spell on society, and there are magician frequencies there for sure. Religion is a magician energy, and so on. So you're going through the school of magic. It might be dark magic, but you're going through it. Eventually, you'll come back into your power. And yes, there are entities here that are afraid of society because, it only really takes one person to, if you had all your powers, to destroy the world, basically. Not that you're capable of doing it. Well, you are, but there's a lot of precautions for that. But technically, you hear about it. It's like it only takes one to ruin it for everybody, right? That's kind of like what happened in your Earth's past. It's a lot more detailed than that, and not everything's going to be brought into your reality at this time. it's too much. It's just too much for at the third physical reality. It's too much to process every single detail. But coming back into your power, those of you who are seeing, well, you're also those of you that are here to activate yourself. It's not what it's cracked up to be because you're not exactly getting your abilities back, sort of, but not fully. Because there's a lot of precautions if you're going to use them correctly. There's a lot more to it than that, but it's just not going to just here you go. Here's a diploma. You showed up. It doesn't work that way. Yes, and because you're a nice person doesn't mean anything. You can be nice all day long. A lot of those nice people out there do not want. They might have good intentions, but they do not want to know anything about themselves. A lot of them don't. Not to say everyone's like that, but there's a good amount that just does not care. It's like it's all about presenting themselves. Hey, I'm nice. I like be friendly, and that's about. It's kind of hollow. Not everyone's like, but there's a lot of that out there. Not to say they have bad intentions. It's just like it's kind of like you put on makeup and all that, but you're playing the role, but there's a lot of emptiness inside, and it's more. The more you put on the outside, the less you have to go into the inside. So, it might be the most charismatic person on the planet. Yeah, but inside it's like a Roman candle about to blow. So, as many of you know. Greece you, the Andromedans. Society does test itself frequently. We are going out of focus, probably because there's a lot of frequencies here currently. A moment. Technology is exactly what it used to be either. But either way, humanity, this event, you can say an energy event of humanity being kicked out of their complacency, their table or their chair. Those that figure they have it all figured out, and then it's like not anymore. And so much attention to politics, drama. It's like, why? Why are you doing this to yourselves? It doesn't have to be like that. It's like you're looking for stress. The media, because it gets attention and it lowers the frequencies. I mean, you don't really need a magician to play society. Society is playing itself. It's like it's throwing dirt at itself. Not everybody, but there's many that are throwing dirt back and forth. And it's almost like they don't even know why. They just do it for the sake of doing it. It gets attention. It's like, like children that want attention from someone. They just keep saying these things to get attention. Now, I understand on a cycle, for, it really comes, for even financial means. Well, sometimes if you have a message out there, you're going to trigger individuals. You're just going to married with children, the family that's all falling for, which is actually more realistic than the plastic family they show on television. Always, it's closer to it. So there are things like you just want to get people's attention. Say, by the way, look at this. It's like, we're not perfect. We're all messed up. We have issues. That's okay. But at least you're showing it. You're not hiding it anymore. That's say society has to go into a whole, these are my problems, and no, it doesn't go into that. But the idea is to open up, the earth, or eventually, the long term, the idea is to, it's easier to, connect with yourself. It doesn't mean you have to be public, but, where it becomes easier, where you can, release all these layers of pain through this life, other lifetimes, and so on. Obviously, this is something that goes, this is a long-term situation, but society in general, while it feels ghostly, it's, worn out, even as a child. Like you might be at 2, 3, just as a baby, worn out. You can just be born into the world and or it's like, oh man, that was a workout. Just being formed to come here. And I got to go through all this, and then obviously get to sleep to, get your energy back, but still it's very agonizing here, as you can see. Well, it's agonizing because all the spirit beings here that have lost their minds, the lower dimensions have lost, even the higher dimensions are all stressed out to some level. So it's like it's if you see the world itself is kind of ghostly because of the lower frequencies here. It's like they're constantly working on society to drain its frequency. Well, because the lower dimensions don't really have, it's like they're trying to stay alive, and they need you to keep themselves alive for now. And you're warning from that. You're just warning about your darkness. It goes into other levels of it. But it gets weird, especially when you get more spiritually connected and you feel like a lower dimensional being is coming to you. It might have been someone that either you knew in this life or you feel like you knew them from Roman time periods or whatever it is. Yeah, that might occur at some point. Doesn't mean you'll lose your frequency or you're getting attacked. It's just you see the veil more clearly. Let's put it that way. It doesn't mean you see ghosts everywhere, but you might every now and then feel like there's an entity that you know from a lifetime from thousands of years ago. They're stuck here, wandering around. So just to give you some context of it. So basically, it doesn't mean your society is going into more of awareness of the astral realms and all that. It's not quite ready for that, as you can see. It's in the sandbox of chaos. But those of you, you're like guiding the earth to figure itself out at some point. As the obviously, as the aliens are assisting you quietly, they're still letting you do your process. Maybe if you're frustrated, obviously, due to the slow, or feel you're stopped, you're parked. There's some stop and go. Once society eventually begins to become more honest with itself, it's easier to make connections. Right now, just many are on guard, as you can see. And that's draining just that. You wonder why you're wearing out. Just society is wearing itself out. All this technology, short attention spans, because it is moving faster, frequency is moving quicker, and it just can't. It's kind of connecting more to its higher energy fields where it can do 100 things at once. But you're human and you're in a physical realm, you can only do so much. But some feel like they can do a lot when they really can't. And of course, you like look at a video and you just move to the next. You kind of already know the frequency of it, so they move to the next one. So there's that. But they're just not. It's like the foot's on the gas, but you don't know where you're going. So